Antioch, and Peter came down to Antioch and was fellowshipping with the brethren. They were having a good time until there were men from Jerusalem that came down. And then when Peter saw the men from Jerusalem come to Antioch, you know what the scripture says. Peter jumped up from the table and acted like he wasn't fellowshipping with the apostolic team. And he did it so fast until the scripture says Barnabas was carried away. He didn't have a foundation, Pastor, like you said. And actually, none of the apostles really had a foundation. Not until Paul came along and went and fellowshiped with them and started sharing with them things they didn't know, even though they walked with Jesus. Jesus didn't tell them everything they needed to know. When Peter said, "Thou art the Christ, the Son of the living God," Jesus said, "Flesh and blood hadn't revealed that to you, but my Father." And then Peter turned around and rebuked Jesus. Told him, "Don't go to the cross. Pity yourself." And the Lord had to rebuke Peter after Peter was commended that the Father had revealed to him who Christ really is. So just because a person is inspired and have the gifts of the Spirit don't mean a thing when it comes to the foundation. And I say that with some, because I tell you what, I guarantee you, if somebody come in here and preach and the gift of healing start taking place, the gift of prophecy, word of knowledge, word of wisdom, 90% of all of us in here act like we had never heard anything before. And still won't be hearing anything. It would be just that we're seeing something and experiencing something. Don't fool yourself. Gifted people don't mean they have a foundation. Even when God speak to us. Oh, he said, come up here. Even when God speak to us. So not only did Barnabas get carried away with the dissimulation, what Paul said to Peter, and he meant for a Barnabas to hear it and the rest of them, he says, the scripture says, he withstood Peter to the face, for he was to be blamed. For he did not walk upright according to the truth of the gospel. Peter was not walking upright according to the truth of the gospel. And Barnabas was carried about with the dissimulation. He was playing the hypocrite too. So just because you are an apostle don't mean you laid a foundation. Just because you are a prophet doesn't mean you. And most pastors, 90% of all the pastors in the United States of America don't have a good foundation. That's what I was doing, texting this morning to pastors that are voting for Donald Trump. I say, you got to be a nitwit. I say, you got to be a nitwit because a man stands up to tell you that his policies have evolved and he's different now and all that. I say, anybody that believes that makes God out of a lie. God says, can a Ethiopian change his skin? Or a leopard his spots? Then let ye that are accustomed to do evil do good. He ain't changing overnight. No more than a leopard could change his spots. He's a liar yesterday, he's a liar today. And people that are voting for him are deceived. And I'm mad about it. Because the people of God, I'm tired of us being deceived. Because we don't have a foundation. And one more scripture, talking about a foundation. In Psalm 105, verse 16 and following. Psalm 105, verse 16 and following. Moreover, he called for a famine upon the land. He brake the whole staff of bread. He sent a man before them, even Joseph, who was sold for a servant, whose feet they hurt with fetters. He was laid in iron until the time that his word came, and the word of the Lord tried him. That's the chief inspector. The word is the chief inspector. And you can't be inspected until you put in a position to be tried. And I tell you the truth about it, 90% of us don't have a good foundation. You know why? We haven't been tried. We haven't been put to the test. 90% of us stay out of the way of tests. We stay out of the way of tests. We don't want to be in the line of fire. We don't want to be nobody's slave. We don't want to be a prisoner of Christ. We don't want nobody to hurt us. People come and go. I tell you what, it's not until sometimes, and I know my own experience, you can preach it, you can teach it, you can do everything, but the day will come when you are on trial, and the rain is going to hit you, the wind is going to hit you, and the flood is going to beat at your base. And until that comes, it's not proven. So let's get serious. Let's get serious. Stop running away from problems. People get mad and run away, they're going to meet themselves somewhere down the road. If you don't get it in the pit, you're going to get it at Potiphar's. If you don't get it at Potiphar's, you're going to get it at the prison. And then if you don't get it at the prison, you're going to be tested on the throne. Because when your brothers finally show up, yeah, when they finally show up, when those you know did you wrong, now you're in a position to pay them back. You've been through everything, and now you're on top. And here they come. Here they come. That's right. And that's what I'm speaking to me. Because the day will come when people's eyes will finally be open because the city is on fire. Then they're going to be running back. And then what are we going to do? We're going to get on our knees and pray as we have been usually doing. We're not going to be saying, where you been? Because the city's going to be on fire. Blood is going to be in the street. And you can't hide. Brother Harris, you can't hide in Murfreesboro. You can't hide on the farm. You can't hide at Pinnacle Mountain. Okay. I'm through. That stirred me up. Yeah. Yeah, really. And if you want me to tell you whether you have one or not, then come and ask me. You just come and ask me, and I'll tell you yes or no.
Can't get more clear than that.
Yeah. Question.